Brad Beach, and I'm Lourdes Vasquez, and we have a quorum. Adoption of the agenda.
I just have one recommended change, that if we could remove the student spelling bee recognition as our first item.
Any questions from anybody? Any objections? No? Everybody okay? Alrighty. Okay, so, a motion to approve the agenda with the changes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes. Call to the public. There is no call to the public. And now Mr. Verdugo.
I think able to attend, we have our spelling bee. Congratulate all those spellers on their achievement of being a speller to get to this point. And then today competing in the district spelling bee. So I'm going to invite Ms. Kennedy up because she's going to have certificates for those students. And then
Mr. Verdugo, good evening, board president. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to introduce you to some of the best spellers in the world. You had a very long spelling bee. I think it's the longest one I've ever been in attendance for. And I have some excellent spellers I'd like to introduce you to. Paul Fuentes. Good job. I'm gonna ask you just to stand right here. Just hold on, okay? All right. Sarah. Speller is Dante Nunez Campos. Diego Padilla. Santiago. Alexis. Emily Demarest. She was our second place winner of the spelling bee. And if I can get unraveled here. Congratulations, excellent job. Here is Shulamiti Batu. Excellent. All right, here you are.
All right, good job. Would you like to say something?
Yes, congratulations to all of you. That was so exciting to watch, and I know it was very nerve-wracking for all of you. But you all deserve a big round of applause, as well as your parents for supporting you. And congratulations.
Yes, all right.
Good job. I caught the last few rounds, and I think I had to check spelling for myself on a few of them. You guys did outstanding. Good job.
Good job. Thank you. Mr. Ramirez?
Yeah, thank you for representing our community and taking the time to go over all those words. I'm sure you studied before you, all the prep work. And it's not easy to stand there, you know. I'm sure you get the butterflies, you know, you get a little nervous when you have to spell those words, which makes it only that much more challenging. So congrats for doing such a great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I know it takes a lot of courage, especially facing an audience while you're trying to spell the words. Thank you to the parents that worked with your students, your child, to get them to this point. And I believe the winner goes on to the state competition?
To the county bee.
The county?
County.
So those that are moving on to represent our district, good luck. And again, congratulations.
Yep. Good job. Each and every one of you, to the parents, a los papás, muchísimas gracias por todo lo que hacen por sus hijos. All of you, thank you so much for all the support that you get from, you know, that your children get from you. That it really shows, okay, on everything that they do, on, you know, on how well they did. I mean, I've gone to many You know, spelling bees, never has it been 12 rounds, never, okay? I mean, and I've been in the district for over 25, 26, 27 years, so never. So congratulations to all of you guys. You guys did amazing, and thank you very much again, you know, for representing our school district. Good luck.
As I wish you all good luck, and just so that some know the history, we actually had a person that finished third place in our district meeting, ended up winning the whole county meeting.
Yep,
So
yep.
it doesn't matter where you finish here, because you still have one more B, so go back and practice as much as you can. If you're the school champ, you still have an opportunity to win the whole county meeting.
That's right. Good job, guys. Congratulations.
You're finished.
Picture for the parents, if they, they got one of them. They got one with all of the judges and all that stuff.
You know what? Pretty happened to check out of high school, they graduated.
You did a presentation here.
Remember that, yeah. One time. Something else to do. I remember school.
Congratulations.
She missed it. Teasing him about it.
Now,
It's too haunchy.
Yeah.
I was teasing him, said, "Did you let us down?"
thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, moving on, we're going into the organizational action. Election, Mr. Verdugo.
Yeah, so tonight is our required organization board meeting. We'll elect our new president, clerk, as well as the different required items for posting types of meetings and so forth. So we start with the election of the board officials. So there are possible motions for board president.
I would like to motion that we approve Ms. Lourdes Vasquez as president of our board for the next school year, which is will be the 26-27 school year.
Thank you. I accept. Thank you.
Second?
Oh my God. Okay, thank you. A motion.
That was a motion.
That was a second?
We can have a discussion.
You wanna, anyone, any discussions?
That's fine with me.
Well,
Okay, tell me. Come on, do it now. I'm here.
no.
Yeah, usually how it runs for, I know, Alma and Ben, you guys are new. You can self-nominate if you want. You can nominate an individual, with Lourdes. We tend to rotate the roles eventually.
Point of order, but I don't think we can do that anymore, because
No, I know, I'm just,
there's no self-nominating anymore.
oh, no?
No, we changed the rules.
Okay, I don't remember that. Okay.
But we
So-
can nominate people.
Somebody can appoint a president or a motion to appoint a president, nominate. And usually we rotate the roles. It's not mandatory though. So I'm perfectly fine with this.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Any
Thank you.
further discussion?
Any further discussions?
I'm good. I could get behind anybody here, you know. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. So now we, okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. I'm president for one more year. Thank you so much. Election of a board clerk.
I'd like to nominate Ben Guerrero.
A second?
Any motion, any discussion? I'm good. Are you okay with it, Mr. Guerrero? Are you accepting? Oh, good, okay. Are you, everything okay?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay.
He was my former student.
Now
Mr. Kramer's.
you know how old he is, okay? No, just-
And he's a good guy, and I think he did a good job by us.
I think Ben's been with the fire board. He knows the rules, regs, sort of the procedure. So I think he'd be an excellent clerk.
I totally agree too. Alrighty. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Mr. Guerrero is now
We're
our.
moving over, baby.
But that doesn't get you off the hook, okay?
Not for today.
Not for right now.
Hey.
All righty. Hey, Ms. Weaver. Next, item, B, designation of board meetings, for the calendar year of 2026, 2027. Mr. Verdugo?
So the meeting takes place, here in the dorm room. And It's 5 p.m. And then the calendar, you each have a hard copy.
We have a,
I just wanted to highlight for the board that we try to stick with those months that we're very busy with other activities, that to have one board meeting in those months. So that includes the May, when we have graduation and all the other full site activities. So having one meeting in May, also March during spring break. And also one of the things that we noted on here was like the last principal report, because I know the board had pushed for not requiring summer principals reports. And so we noted that on the calendar this year as well, so that they're aware of that as well. And so that's very well received by the principals. that they
Mhm,
have
I'm sure.
summer reports. So,
yeah. Even though I really like the principal report, guys, okay? But, you know, the summer is on, okay? But
Also, December, again, is only one meeting.
yeah, in November and December.
November, December.
Mhm. Okay, okay, do I have a motion to approve? Or are there any questions?
We can do the motion first. And then
Motion
and
first?
Discussion.
Okay,
Motion to approve the board meeting schedule for calendar year 2026 as presented.
Second,
okay,
Now we can discuss.
yeah, any discussions? Do you have any, do you have anything, Mr. Ramirez?
Yeah, you guys went over this with a fine tooth comb with
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We tried to match and adjust dates so that there wasn't back-to-back meetings like on occasion. So we wanted to make sure that we reviewed all of that, especially again during the holidays and spring breaks,
Spring break
things like that.
and fall break, because.
Are there no principal reports due because of the Cinco de Mayo or is it?
No.
Is that taking into account a cruda?
I think it's more for the graduation and
I
and
think
all,
so.
and the
And,
school year, all the different ceremonies. And most of them will turn something in. Anyway, a lot of photos through our through Audra, and so I think there's a lot of.
No, I'm happy about it. The fewer for them, the better.
Yeah, Mr. Beach?
Nope.
No,
Looks good to me.
alrighty, okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Okay, good. Next thing, locations for posting board meetings, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. So this is our required that exceeds the requirement. We also want to show transparent, posting. Probably sometimes why are they not posted in certain places, but we especially now that it's on our website, so it's not like that anybody can't go and see that. Where it's at, and we get it out as early as we possibly can to make sure that they're able to, if somebody wants to come to the board meeting and do a call.
You make a motion?
Yeah, motion.
Do I have a motion?
Gonna discuss it.
Yeah, you can do the motion first.
Motion first, okay. Motion, does anybody have a motion?
motion to approve the official posting sites for board meeting notices as presented.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. No?
Discussion first.
Discussions first, sorry.
Yeah, in the past, I had mentioned why it was that we didn't post this at the post office and I can't remember what it was that you guys
Oh, yeah, I
told me.
remember you asked
Yeah,
that.
and we had, but it requires us to have cost of travel for an individual to go. And we asked and we kind of surveyed, there wasn't very many people looking at the post office any longer because of the website, and they were just found it easy to see everything on the website.
Any other questions? No?
Also, I just clarify as well, that many of those that would see it at the post office are on our, are on our listserv. So we talked to those individuals that would go to the post office to look at it. And they're actually on our email list.
What about two back and
And those are on their email list as well. So, and also they get the information from the website.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay, ayes have it, motion passes. Next, board meetings via conference call or other technological means. Mr. Verdugo?
Yes, this allows us to have any board member that is not able to make it for any reason, that they will be able to participate, as well as have meetings such as hiring at the beginning of the school year, or for special meetings, telephonic or Zoom.
Alrighty, okay, do I have a motion?
so moved?
Need a motion.
You need the motion first. You need to read it.
Motion to allow board members to attend meetings virtually via telephonic conference call or other technological means.
Second.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, why are we making these motions that we never did before?
So we've never made these motions?
No, before you were making the motion. To move this.
So moved and now.
Yeah, because I would read it, but then they told me that somebody else had to read it,
Okay.
so
Yeah, we're good. We
they changed it for me.
just making it more clear.
Mhm. Are you okay?
Okay, one other thing I was gonna say, what's any different from what we did in the past? Why do we have to present this?
But we have to do it annually, so every year we have to do this. So it's required by statute for us to do this every year.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to say we can do it for the next 3 years and have.
And then you can change it.
But
We just can't put down for the next 5 years.
but it's required by statute to do it.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's, because we already motioned and seconded. Okay, all those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Okay, there's another one with the presentation, but we already did that one, but it's the presentation for Cuatimundi Middle School. Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. So this is our next school site that is presenting. So I'd like to invite Ms. Greta. She has a team here as well. They'll be discussing what the previous letter grade was for this school year, and then also the integrated action plan. So what-
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Ms. Riddle, Dr. Lenderfellow, Ms. Juan. Thank you for having me here tonight. We are going to talk about the letter grade that we received, as well as our plan of action of what we're doing this year moving forward. So you can see here the letter grade. We have 50% of growth. We have 10% acceleration readiness. We have 10% of English learners, and then we have 30% of proficiency. I just kind of stated it before, but as you're gonna see, when I came back to CTMS, thank you, and we saw this data, we're going to address the data, we're going to look at the data, but we're gonna move forward. So there's no reason to continue stressing about what is already there, but we're gonna take what we have and move it forward. So our mantra is just moving forward this year. So you can see here, you can see in the purple, the points for proficiency and stability. You can see that's at 12.73. Last year was at 14.1. The growth, this last year was 40.6, and the prior year was at 49.63. You can see our ELL proficiency, we received 4 points. The previous year it was 8. Acceleration readiness, we had 2, which there was a possible 10, which was received the year before that. Total point, and if you summarize it, we hit 51.33 with the prior year being at 81.64. percentage we earned was 59.33. We did get a bonus point of 1.5, which like the previous year was at 2. Points earned 60.83 total. The previous year was 86.62. We were able to test 99.3%, which is good. The year before was a little higher at 99.45. That meant the letter grade that we received was a C, with the prior years being a B. So we did decrease, I did the math, we did decrease a total of 22.31 points. But like I said, our motto is moving forward, so what are we going to do? It happened, okay, but now what are we doing now? So I did adjust a little bit of graphs, just, it's easier on the eye, and as I explain it, it's easier for me to explain. So I brought this up because I wanted to point out this letter of a C is not the norm for CTMS. So you can look from 2017 to 2024, we've always maintained a B. You can see a little bit of fluctuation, and the 24 school year was probably the highest that they've ever had. And that was at 0.5 point to an A. So there are some unfortunate events, some that were out of the control, and that's just caused this past year. But again, if you look at previous years, it's not something that you would notice that CTMS produces. We are usually at that B. The year before, we were almost at an A, so obviously something happened. I looked at the data, my staff has looked at the data, my team has looked at the data, but I just wanted to show that that's not CTMS, and so we do know some of the errors, and we're correcting those, we're moving forward with those. For our AASA data, before we move that, what are we doing with what we just saw with that data? And so there's some plans of action and data points, and I just wanted, solely looking at the data, what do we have to do in numbers? And I really do think we can make it. We're gonna shoot for everything we can, and that's our goal. So the school will increase the overall proficiency by a minimum of 4 points, moving from 12.73 toward a stronger performance benchmark. If you really look at that, and like you talk about percentage and then you put it to student number, like an actual student, we can do better than that, but we just want to get back to where we were before. Obviously we want better than that, but that's our goal. Just get us out of that where we were, back up to before. The growth will be strengthened by implementing targeted instructional strategies to raise the score from 40.6 to at least 47.6. And again, I went through the data previous just to kind of see. EL instruction and supports will be refined to increase proficiency and growth from 4 to 6+ points, informed by the prior year data. And I'll talk about that in more depth. Acceleration efforts will be prioritized to address gaps and increase the score of 2 to a minimum 8. Again, going back to the previous slide, I just went through everything and tried to find some numbers that were attainable, but obviously, at high expectations. Instructional focus is really in 8th grade math. We did struggle in that area, and we're going to emphasize rigorous enrichment to raise highly proficient outcomes while reducing minimally proficient. That is an area in our letter grade with 8th grade specifically. If we can move them to highly proficient and get them out of minimally, we will get some extra points there. And we want our students to be successful. Attendance systems and family communication will be strengthened to exceed the 95 attendance benchmark. Incentive participation will expand to increase the bonus score beyond 1.5. It's actually out of a total of 5. So we really want to increase that. And then special education programming will continue to expand opportunities for mainstreaming students in general education environments. So here you can see, before there's some line graphs, but numbers speak a little bit more clear to me. It's easy to see. My apologies on the 5th grade ELA, I didn't highlight those in orange, my apologies. But we're really looking at 2 things. I definitely want to look at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade from the 24-25, but I also need to understand what kids we are having this school year, the 25-26. So this is one way we looked at the data to kind of give us a baseline. So you can see math for our sixth graders last year, we had an overall of 31% passing. Last year, sixth grade in math was at 41. I'm sorry, well, you can kind of see it. I'm gonna go over, I'm sorry. But I looked at this, and then we have our most recent MAP data. I know they're not the same test, but it does give a projected proficiency. Like, it'll tell you where the students are, and say they took this test and it was the big AASA test. We have promising scores. So in math, we were lower, but we're already having some increases. So in sixth grade in math, the 24-25 school year was at 26%, but if I look at MAP right now, it's at 41%. In seventh grade math, last year, the 24-25 was at 14. If MAP were the ultimate test, we'd be at 31. Eighth grade for math was at 3. Right now, we're at 23. So I know it's just one indicator, but it is a strong indicator, and it shows more in depth. Reading, last year, sixth grade was at 37%. This year so far in MAP, we're at 43%. Seventh grade was at 34. Right now, we're at 45. And then eighth grade was 31 last year, and we're at 37. So if I were to combine it at a school, overall, last year we were at 37%. From the MAP scores, we're showing 45, so we're seeing positive increases. Seventh grade last year was at 34, MAP is showing us at 50 proficient. And then eighth grade, if I were to combine, was at 31, and now we're at 41. So numbers are looking good. Obviously, we still have this semester to work really hard, but the kids are aware of this data, my families are aware of this data, my staff is aware of this data, and we all have goals. So we've really been working really hard on the goals, and I'll explain those to you as we go through the IEP. My apologies. I went over one. So here you can see that was the goal, and I repeat it. I apologize for I didn't see that one. These are goal 1. We're going to increase by 10% in math measured to delivering rigorous standards, and then we're also going. We said 10% of proficiency will increase their proficiency in ELA by 10%. Some say 10% is a lofty goal, like, are you really gonna increase? But if you put in numbers, that's 18 kids, 17 kids. We're not satisfied with the number. I would love to have higher percentage, because we don't wanna leave any student out. But I'm simply asking, if we were to make this improvement needed, it's a very small amount of students we're asking to turn into proficiency, and our goal is to have everybody proficient. That's where we have for those math and ELA. If I move on to Azella, you can see here that these are just over the years. So the green font, you can see that is proficient, and increased indicates growth from the prior year. You can see the orange and then the red. Our scores were lower than we would have liked. However, we did change the format last year of how we have those students, and we did it by proficiency level as opposed to grade level. We've seen data in our other school, our sister school has that, and it was working for them, so we tried it. We are continuing with it. I feel the teacher that we have this year is very experienced, and that's how she thinks it's the best way. So we're keeping that, but I did want to mention, I know we have especially in the secondaries, we have a lot of parent withdrawals, but just a little side note, 70% of our ELs in the SEI program increased at least one proficiency level. So that's a higher number. However, for our ELs that opted out or had the parent withdrawal, only 30% increased at least one proficiency level. So we now know those students who have had parent withdrawal but still need services. In our classrooms, we have the ELP standards, so the teachers make sure that those they're hitting that component as well as their regular standards, so the English language, ones. And then we have as well practice, right? So we're practicing, but something good that the test can be difficult. So if you know what you know, but you've never seen the format of the assessment, it's gonna trip you up a little bit. So we've had our SEI tech with the parent withdrawals. We have been meeting with them and just kind of give them that comfort of understanding what the test is. They have to be tested anyways. So we'd like for them to, see where they're at. Right now, we just, like a practice test, answer the questions, what do you need? And then from that data, we'll use that. What do we need to do in the classrooms to encourage them to be more proficient? This is just, you can see where we are. CTMS is the orange on the bottom. You can see it kind of was high, then it dipped, it kind of goes up and down. We did have the previous year in 24 was high, and we went down quite a bit. But I feel, once again, I feel that we're intentional with the data that we have and what we understand our students and how we can help them. I'm hoping with the intentional assistance that it's going to help our students. We can already see, again, we're looking at MAP data, and Ms. Nuno, our SEI teacher, she was very happy how much the kids have come on their assessment along going into the classrooms. You can see more English being spoken. I have a student that only speaks Spanish, very little English, and so he'll want to talk to me in Spanish. I'm like, no, the deal is you speak to me in English, I'll try in Spanish. So we can learn from each other. So he will. He's funny. He makes sure he comes to see me every day, and he tries in Spanish. I'm like, I don't understand. You need to tell me in English. And then he's like, I miss, but and he's still. It's a good relationship. So with all of that going on, and letting the new program in Azela and the TLA support, we have some games. We have things just simple, what an elementary student would do, but we don't put it as elementary. But you need to blend, what are the sounds, and then you sound them out and you blend them together. And so we have all different levels. We have some that you would never think they were EL, but there's something in the language or in another area that we've seen through the data, and how are we pinpointing what they need so they can become proficient. You can see here, same kind of theme for the Azela. Only our 8th graders are tested. However, we put an emphasis, CTMS is in the blue at 14, the state average is at 31. We're not where we want to be, and we did drop. But with the science, we are really working together with vertical content collaboration, what's working, what's not. We all understand that science test, as technical as it is, it's a reading test. So we're really being intentional with the academic vocabulary, understanding it, trying it, having the modules and what are they called? Come on, help me, science people. Experiments, thank you. Gosh, I could see it in my head of a volcano exploding. So my apologies. Again, we were looking at MAP, we have for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Overall, if I were to look at 8th grade, we're showing 41% proficiency in MAP. We obviously have strengths and weaknesses, but we're really being intentional in science as well, that collaboration. They need to know and understand what the text is asking them to do before they can actually do that. So we're hitting both ends, the vocabulary and the reading comprehension, along with the science content that they need to know. And 6th grade has a part, 7th grade has a part. It's just that 8th grade is only tested. But we want to make sure, what does 8th grade need to be successful? We need to make 6th and 7th grade are assisting as those years develop. The next one for goal 3 and 4 for our IEP, it's our intervention. So really with tier 2 and 3. And we are really ensuring that we have whatever the student needs at that point in the classroom. We're really hitting the grade level, but there's always ways, especially when we're using standards-based, you can tell what they're strong in and some weaknesses. So we have a 4-week rotation in CAB hour. It's the first period of the day. And we are very, very intentional on how we rotate those. We started the first round. Well, first we looked at CAV hour and what do we want. So we created a procedure, exactly what we wanted. We started with a 3-week rotation, and then the teachers are like, wait, that's a little fast, let's do a 4-week rotation. So we did that. We started with our previous scores. The data that we had was our AASA. And so we grouped the students then. After that, we used our MAP data, and then we shuffled them based on, you know, between what AASA plus what they had right now for MAP, and we shuffled them on their needs, primarily in ELA and math, but we have science and social studies equally important, and then the teachers make that determination whether they need reading more or math, or they need to split it in between, and they'll let the kids know. After that, we moved into formative and informative assessments. Teachers now understand their students, they can see where their strengths and weaknesses, and then they made decisions based off of their assessment along with what the student is doing. Maybe they're a bad test taker. Okay, now I know this, and I'm gonna switch them here and give them some different strategies. So I feel strong that the CAV hour has really impacted us in a good way. The students understand the purpose of it. They know where they need to go. They've even asked, you know, can I go to this class because I feel more comfortable, or I need extra assistance here. One way that I'm proud, they're advocating for themselves, but the biggest thing is they're understanding what they understand and what they need extra help in, and that embarrassment isn't really there because everybody's at different levels. You rotate all the time. And so it's just been, the intentionality of it has been really positive, and the work the teachers do with the students has been really positive. So I really feel that CAV hour has been a good addition to our school day. The next one that we have is our attendance, just like everyone, and our behaviors. So when looking at the data, if you're not here, you can't learn. And if you're out of the classroom due to a behavior, that's going to make it really difficult to learn as well. So there were some high numbers of absences last year, and I do last year to this year, and I do the same time frame. So on Synergy, I can put in, you know, the first day of school to right now. And so that's how I compare it. Right now, our attendance is at 92%. It's not at 95 yet. We still have some time. And the previous year was 90%. Not a huge growth, but it's growth. In 6th grade, we're averaging at 7.35, which is improvement of 1.76 from the previous year. 7th grade is at 8.14, which is an improvement of 2.6 this year. And then 8th grade is at 8.84 with an improvement of 1.01. We've been really intentional in our attendance. CAV hour, which CAV's club, we'll talk a little bit of the incentive for that, but it does hit our attendance as well. So there's a lot of incentive. I do give the attendance rate every day. Our students, if they can hit 95, that's the goal. I'm not saying they can't be absent, but just because it's cold outside, they still need to go to school, or they didn't prep for a test. And when I have my quarterly goal setting with my students, I've had it every, I know they're not quarters, but after every break we return, just a refresher to remind us what our goals are and how we're doing. They need to see how they're improving. So announcements every day, we talk about it. We give by grade level an incentive, we give them a dress down. If they can make 95%, you get to dress down within the parameters of what we have. They love it. 6th grade has been kicking butt this week. November was a little iffy. But we've had some, very few, but we've had some, the entire school made it. So guess what? We get to wear jeans and something cool. I mean, they still need to wear their lanyards, but it's just something that doesn't cost us anything, and they really like it. The kids will email me, and then they'll come up like, Miss, what is our attendance? I don't know, the day's not over yet. So it really is a good incentive for them, and just to know where they are. And we talked about the reason why you need to be here. If you're absent, we understand for certain reasons. But it's just not all the time. Once it becomes an issue, we've been calling home. Miss Levetta, our behavioral coach, she has had a lot of parent contact. Like, hey, what is the issue? How can we help? And just with the phone calls that we've just had recently when we came back to school, like, you had 46 tardies, what's up? they're like, oh my gosh, once you get that number there, they kind of realize and said they don't, time goes by, they're not really noticing. So that has been a help as well. On goal 4, it's behaviors. They tested me being new to middle school, and I have some different expectations, and but one of them was our current 8th grade was, I know they were difficult the year before, and so I even told them, and this just last time, I didn't tell them before, but they had a bad reputation, like, oh my God, these kids coming in, bless their soul, 8th grade, because it was horrible. And they have proven us wrong. They have been really, really good. I mean, there was a little like, who's gonna win, Ms. Cabrera or the and it's not about winning, right? But are you gonna follow up? If I don't wear my lanyard, or if I say something, are you really gonna call me and call me out on what my behavior was? And I did. And we have actually developed lots of good relationships. So one student that was kind of a misbehavior, he had asked the teacher yesterday to come to my office. I'm like, what's up? Like, what do you mean? I just wanted to tell you, remember I told you my mom's gonna have a baby? Well, she had the baby. And she's just talking. I'm like, hey, we need to work on your tardies. He's like, Miss, I'm really trying. I'm like, okay, so let's get your parents to help you, and then we can move forward. But it was nice. The kids that we kind of struggled in the beginning are now having these conversations because the relationships have built. It wasn't, you have a consequence, I'm the student. It's, let's see what happened. Why did this happen? Do you understand why it's not allowed at school? Okay, can we move forward? It's okay to make mistakes. Let's not make the same ones over and over again. And so I can say right now our discipline is much lower. So we are down from last year, from whatever was logged in Synergy. Quite a big difference. Last year total, there were 348 logs of discipline. This year we have 127. There are consequences, and you need to have those sometimes. They have to be logged in. But again, those conversations, the kids get it. It's not just you're suspended, goodbye. It's, hey, let's talk. You did this. This is the consequence. But let's talk about how we're going to fix that. And so when they come back, if it's a suspension, we have a little re-entry, like, hey, all right, this was what you had. We're not going to do that. We're good. Okay, go ahead and go out. So that's been good. So far, our 6th graders are at only 27 incidents, 7th grade at 46, and 8th grade at 54. I just want to attest, it's not me, and I have my team here that's making these changes. It's all of us working together and really having those conversations. So you can see that in attendance, the growth that's happening, as well as the decrease of behavior issues. The last one, we talked, well, I kind of went over it. I'm sorry, I went ahead of myself. The negative behaviors. Yeah, so we had a behavior decrease. It was high for the entire year, was at 23% last year, and our goal is to get it less than 10%. If I look at my last year to this year from the same time, from August to January 24-25, there was 68% discipline logged. This year from August to January, we have 24.7, so it was a decrease of 43.3. We haven't met our goal. Right now we're at 14.7, but we're getting there. And so I do feel like you go on the campus and you can feel like we're all good. It's a nice place to be. The kids like it. We're happy that they're here. So when you feel comfortable and like, I'm just gonna follow the rules, I'm not gonna speed because I'm gonna get caught. It just makes it a better environment for all of us. So I'm really proud of the students and the staff. We have the yellow binder with the steps, and we're going through, and the teachers are contacting parents, and we're putting in the contact log. So there's no break in communication. If a parent says, I don't know why my child is, they've never done anything, I can go in the contact log and say, oh, well, on this day, this day, this day, and this day, you had conversations that we need together. On the flip side, if they don't put that, it just puts me at a loss. So I always tell my teachers, document, please put it in there, because then I can help you. So one of the last things I just kind of organize it into the groups that we have and what we're doing to move forward with that. We have our standards for student achievement and growth. We have our standards-based data trackers with student ownership of progress. We have had pockets of teachers create the standards, priority standards data trackers for the students. And this year we said, we're going to do it this year. So the first semester we didn't have it. We were just kind of understanding. I had some new staff. I was trying to figure out like, what is it? How is it? Some of my teachers worked on their own time and developed exactly what it is. It has, and I'll show you a picture, but it has the standard, the first assessment, if they needed to take a retake, did they learn it, and then they could take a second retake. This is, the kids put that in and they color code where they're at, a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it really is powerful. They're like, oh, I was really good at this, but I kind of struggled in that. Now that they know, when they go to CAV hour, tutoring, whatever, they know their strengths and weaknesses and they can advocate for themselves. We have our launch team focused on small group instruction and data monitoring. We think small group instruction a lot of times in the elementary level, it just is like a natural thing you can see, but it's really important for our secondary students. So we hit, I was able to sub a math class, and gosh, I haven't done equations in a while, but I did it right, I looked. So we did it correctly. But I had kids, like we did some on the board together, and these are what my teachers are doing. Okay, you guys got it, you're good? All right, you can go where you need to get some extra help. All right, come up here. Obviously, layout would look a little different, teacher preference, but it's a safer way. Like if I need help, I need help. I don't get it yet. Word problems, the same thing, just in all different areas. We've already had teachers visiting teachers, our 8th grade and some of our other grade levels. They went, thank you, Mountain View. They went to Mountain View and spent the day at Mountain View looking at the centers, rotation, the purpose. Their instructional coach shared with our teachers the purpose and what do you do? And then they saw it in action, and then some of their teachers came and shared how they get that done. So it's more attainable. So the goal this year for that is you need to try it. If it doesn't work, okay, make some notes and try something else. You want Ms. Beach to come in to model it? Ms. Beach can come in. You want to go see something? They're requesting the high school, so we have something scheduled. Look at the high school level. They can kind of adjust as they need. But we have some great teachers everywhere, so we want to learn from them as well as implement this for our students. We have after-school tutoring and CAV hour for intervention and extension, our MAP growth celebrations to reinforce academic progress. This is going well. They have to meet or exceed their projected proficiency, meaning I got to see that growth. And they've been really cute. They come up all excited. Miss, I met my goal. And then one kid, they were in a group and the girls were all excited. And the one male student, he's like, I was like, well, what about you? What did you get? Well, I met, but I didn't succeed. I said, high five, you met. Like, that was the whole point. And then we have some like this, I went down 1, but so obviously they're humans, and the teachers, once we have all the data, which is going to be next Friday, their celebration, we're going to see like, oh, I get it. It was kind of, I know the kid, I'm going to give it to them. Or like rapid guessing was out of control. I'm sorry, but you're not going to get to participate, unfortunately. We have our instructional quality and teacher effectiveness targeted staff PD aligned to what the teachers need. Empower evaluation and walkthroughs with timely rubric aligned feedback. I did get into every classroom using the Empower. It's really, really good. And my goal is to get in at least 3 more times before the end of the year. I have 1 more round of some formal observations, but I let all staff know. I will be getting into classroom for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, and I will make your notes in the Empower so then we can have those conversations. I think this is probably the best evaluation or post-conference meetings I've had with teachers. There's a rubric, it's black and white. This is where you're at. And you can see like if it's a 1 or a 2, it's teacher directed. But on the rubric, if it's a 3 or 4, it's what the students can do. So I've had to have some tough conversations like, oh my gosh, you're doing all the work. Great job, but you're at a 2. Why? Because these kids need to be doing it. And so we've had that opportunity where Christy's been able to get in the classrooms to do some modeling, some team teaching, going around and looking at, and we have great teachers on our campus to kind of get some different ideas, but it is really powerful, but it's not an I gotcha. It's, hey, we can improve. What do you need? I think a timer. All right, we're gonna order one, whatever those items may be. So I really feel strongly, I think it's a good program for us. I already mentioned kind of the instructional coaching, and then ongoing review and refinement of instructional systems and procedures. We went over a lot of procedures and systems that we wanted to adjust, get rid of, and put new. But we always go through them periodically to make sure are they meeting our needs. We know Cav Hour needs a little bit of tweak. It's way more popular than I ever thought it would be. And so we know there's just some things that we need to add. So we can make the adjustments, but on the procedures, we already know that's a leadership topic. And what do we need to do? Student agency and school culture. We have given student surveys to strengthen student voice and agency. We've asked them, do you feel safe? Are you learning? Do you understand what it means? And so they've been giving us really good feedback. And so we've been able to implement some of those. They have some great ideas of how to improve. And so they see that, you know, we noticed what you had, okay, here's what we're doing. This is the change. So we're really trying to hit that student agency and them using their voices appropriately. We have the quarterly assemblies to review our goals, progress, and expectations. I think the one that we had in January on the first day they came back, we reviewed our goals. Welcome back. We had a red carpet. Oh, we're so excited that you're here. They actually liked it. One kid was like, is this really necessary? Yes, absolutely it is. We had music and dancing and wanted them to feel special again. And hey, let's check it. We've got our goals. Are we there? This is what we need. We have another, this is our semester, but we're here. It's gonna go fast. We need to be prepared. A lot of encouragement. I've told them, look at what we've done so far. And that's when I did tell the 8th graders, like, guys, you were impressing me. I'm so proud of you. You guys were like the class. And I'm like, yeah, we know. I'm like, but you proved us all wrong. That's awesome. Please continue proving us wrong. I can now say, like, do I have the best students? Yes, I do. And now I can prove it because there's data. So they're seeing that. And then we have our CAVS Club as a high impact engagement incentive program. This has gone through the roof. What are we gonna do? So we put some criteria, grades, attendance, tardies, absences, and they can get this green lanyard. And we do it every 6 weeks during the learning checks. They can get it. Maybe they had a bad second learning check. I remove it, but then they went really well, so I give it back. So they can earn those. And then each time they get a little pin, it goes from bronze to silver to gold. This allows them to have front of the line at lunch, which they love. Dress downs on Fridays because they're elite. And just some little, like, I'll do, just things. I'm gonna go and get some popsicles and then they'll have, just little things that says, wow, you're doing a great job. I think this is probably the thing mostly that we get emails like, Miss, when are we having the next learning check? Did I make it? Did I not? I'm like, well, look at Synergy. Do you think you did it? I'll call you out. So we're calling those kids out tomorrow. But the thing I like about this is they take it very seriously. They love it. I wasn't sure how it would work, but it's probably the best thing we've done. And parents, Ms. Cabrera, just so you know, we have a family emergency. We'll be out, but I'm really worried. Can my child still be in Capitol? The parents, we made it. So that's been really great. And then we have our Student of the Month recognition aligned to our Portrait of a Graduate attributes. So even if they can't make all of this criteria, we look at all other things and we try to encourage positively what they are doing. Because if they didn't make it, they didn't make it yet. And they do work hard, and we put that into account for the effort. Then we have our attendance, behavior, and wellness. We've been really focusing monitoring our attendance, tardies, and behavior. We have appropriate support for attendance and counseling needs outside of school. And then we have attendance with celebrations and incentives. Again, that goes with this, not that they can't be absent. We don't want them if they're not feeling well. And we do understand family things happen. But when we start to see a trend, that's when we start calling those kids out. And then the last thing, family and community engagement. site council meetings, family communication focus on attendance, behavior, celebrations, our newsletters, our social media, and our emails go out, both positive and just informational. We want to make sure we send emails to the students and the parent when they receive it. It's just something they're excited, and it keeps all of us together for our goals. So these are just some pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. So you can see some things at Cavs Club. You can see the data. I don't know what this. Oh, I don't know if it works. You can see the data tracker, and you can see the different colors, and they have the stat. They can click on that, and the proficiency scale comes in, so they can see what they have to do. We have a tardy and attendance procedure. We have our CAB hour, what it looks like. You can see a picture of one of the teachers. She's doing a project, and she's showing each week what they need to be doing. It was something new for her. Didn't work out the first time. She redid it, and then it worked out really well. And so the kids know what they need to do. And so if they're ready for week 2, they can be ready. But if they're still at week 1, well, let's pay attention and get it going. And she does those checks. You can see a picture of our CAPS club. You can see our students collaborating together. I think it's those 3 boys. They were working on a Google slide for a presentation. And I was sitting at a table next to them, and they were like super into it and talking and all about it. And so that was the computer, but on another side, they were doing a station manipulative wise, so it wasn't on the computer. You can see the assemblies. You can see our site council, some collaboration. Thank you. We have those interactive notebook makings. That was one of our PDs that we had. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez, and your daughter. Thank you. I know because my kids had Ms. Vasquez, and I knew Yamil from teaching or working at Calabasas, and I'm like, you guys, we need to start doing this. Have more interactive. How boring to be on the computer all the time. So teachers have been slowly doing that. Next year, we'll put it as whole school, but this year, there's a lot. So I want you to try. I want you to practice. We've been able to, Miss Beach has been able to upload into our resource page. So you have that, and the copies of things are available. So it's just been really, really good. And I'm just going to close. I'm sorry if I overspoke, but this whole year, last year, okay, we get it. This year, I know we're going to be better. But just to keep the teachers, I don't know if you've heard of a glimmer, but it's the opposite of a trigger. Glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Once you train your brain to be on the look for glimmers, these moments will appear more and more. And it's my favorite picture. There's this 7th grade boy, doesn't like to socialize so much. We have the privilege of having a preschool. So he goes to the library and gets picture books, Calvin and Hobbes, and he reads to the preschool kids when they're at his lunch. They're at preschool. We monitor, nothing inappropriate. We have our relationship with the preschool. But it was super cute. Like he was there. And then, nice words go a long way. I got on Saturday, some of my teachers, parents sent us a letter. I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank you for all that you do. My student has truly had a great school year so far, and it's very evident of how much care, dedication, and encouragement you put into your students every day. Despite facing ongoing medical issues, my child remains motivated, is setting personal goals, and generally wants to come to school every day. As a parent, that means everything to me. I know it is a reflection of the supportive, positive environment you have created for her. Thank you for your patience, understanding, commitment, helping her grow both academically and personally. Your impact goes far beyond the classroom, and our family is truly grateful. So I always remind my staff, yeah, there's a lot of challenges, but look for those glimmers, focus on our data, look at the improvement, don't get caught in the down. See what we have, and we're going to make it better. So in the end, I have strong hopes, not hopes, I know we're going to make it. That's not going to happen again this year. My team, Ms. Buzzanell is a representative, but my teachers and my staff are amazing. Thank you to my right-hand man, Ms. Levetter. Thank you for giving me a behavioral coach full-time. I greatly appreciate it. And then Ms. Beach as my instructional coach. we're pretty dynamic on hitting all our areas and supporting the students and our staff like we need to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arriba?
No questions, just want to say that it looks like you're doing everything. You're going in the right direction to get to where you want to be, where you should be, and it looks like you're doing it on all levels, academically, with attendance, with the discipline, and it looks like those incentives are really working for you. So good luck to you, and I'm sure you will get there to where you want to be.
Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Ms. La Riva said. I mean, this is where we're at, this is where we want to be, and this is how we're gonna get there, right? So, yeah, I appreciate that. Look forward to the next one.
Mr. Ramirez.
I always feel like calling you Miss Devlin.
Let it harder.
Thank you for the presentation. You're very organized, like always. I appreciate that. One thing that you said tonight, you said that there were things that were out of your control. So like, what kinds of things are out of your?
I want to specifically hit 8th grade math. Unfortunately, teacher shortage, long-term subs weren't the right fit for teaching the curriculum. We thought we really had a good online program. We went with a program that had a live teacher and then an aide. Unfortunately, that did not go well. That company had in and out rotation teachers. And I mean, that was such low percentage in math. I know Mr. Lopez and that team did everything they could. It was just a very unfortunate event. Not that we chose it, but that's what we had. And so this year we're not with that. I do have last minute, I had all hires. A teacher never called back once she was hired. Or that we recommended her, and that was last minute. So I was able to get a long-term sub, but I'm using Edgenuity. That's not the best either, but that's the best we have. And we're very intentional on that assistance and understanding what the program is and having some different resources on the outside, such as Khan Academy and things to help those kids understand the content. That's what I mean about that.
You hit upon one thing I was gonna ask you, which was Khan Academy, because I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, we use it.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, you push it with all the people that are there, because I remember, I mean, it wasn't pushed so hard. It was just individuals that were really making a difference and pushing it hard. So.
We really hit that during CAV hour and tutoring. During the class, we did adopt a new math curriculum this year. So I have asked them, be fidelity to that and find what's working and not. It's the first year. But we know when those kids are extra low, or even if they're higher, they need something, and that's a good resource. So
How do you know that they're using Khan Academy, your math teachers?
I go in the classrooms and I talk to them and see it.
You see it, you actually physically see that they're.
Yeah, they're on the computer when they have different groups in CAV hour.
Okay,
I
thank
mean,
you.
it's not every day, I'm not gonna lie, it's not every day that they use it, but it is being utilized.
Okay, fair enough. Map testing. What's the purpose of us having map testing?
It's an interim assessment, and MAP is very different from Galileo. I use Galileo.
I know what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
asking
and
everybody here why we continue to give map testing, because it's not a grade level test.
You want me to address it? So MAP has actually made a lot of updates. They now give the majority grade level questions. And now we can get like proficiency ratings. That's how she can predict, the proficiency. So they've made a lot of updates. Why do we do it? It's in order to measure growth and proficiency on those state standards.
Well, I didn't know that they had this grade level component to it anymore. I'd like to see that actually someday. I'd like to maybe go to school and go see that. What that's about, because when I was there, it wasn't a grade level test. It didn't have any sort of thing. And I used to always wonder, why is it that we're giving this test if we're trying so hard to get our kids to pass these standardized tests and it's not a grade level test? To me, it just seemed like, okay, it's just showing where the teacher starts and where they end and their growth. Okay.
Yeah, they've made a lot of
that's just within them, but it's not helping toward the testing, which is a big goal to get a better score and so forth.
And just, I've been out of the schools for 2 years, but what I can see in the updates, it does show in multiple graphs and in different ways, it shows where they are. So something called the learning continuum. If they're a 7th grader, but they have a hole in a certain area, that's at a 3rd grade level, we can see what that weakness is. And then during our interventions, we can fill in those gaps while they're still being tested at the grade level. I mean, learning the grade level, but that's where we have CAV hour. That's really helping. We just had an individual from Texas come out and she did a PD for us to understand all the updates and the reports and how to utilize them on the 5th. It was a 3-hour training and the teachers really appreciate it. And so tomorrow during our PD, it's digging into the data of our MAP assessments, and I have a slide presentation to help them, some guiding questions, and then just how to navigate that and make the best decisions for it.
You can also put your MAP data into Conmigo, Khan Academy, and it gives students tailored support.
Okay, that's great. I'm a big believer in Khan Academy. And that helps out a lot. So I remember when John was running the school, when he was running Calabasas, I used to even go there on the weekends and try to help the kids get some extra hours in the Khan Academy. It was great and it made a difference. We ended up getting a B, I think, that year, but I mean, it wasn't just because of that, but because there's a whole group effort by all of us, including Ms. Vasquez. We were all there trying our hardest to get that grade up. But what else? Oh, the behavior. You said that something dropped from 68% to 23%. What specifically was that though?
I did an average, so when you put it in, it could be disruption, it could be defiance, it has different categories, and I just lumped all of them together. I didn't show you like aggression or anything, and that has decreased. So overall, the behaviors that are reported into Synergy that we put in the system, I can run a report to see what is it, and I toggle between last year and this year to see if what we're doing is making an improvement or not. That's one way to check it.
Okay, all right. Thank you again for your presentation. I appreciate it. Oh, one last thing I want to say to Superintendent. I know that you and your team work hard with regard to recruitment. It's not an attack or anything like that. I know you guys work hard. But I was just wondering if there's anything else that we could do, because God, it seems from what I read in the paper, it just gets worse and worse every year. And I think, my gosh, we live in a rural district. It's hard to find good people to come down and keep them. That's the other one. Sometimes they just use our district as training grounds to move somewhere else. It's terrible. We have this transient kind of population.
And that's an issue. Again, the numbers just came out recently for an update. And over 1,000 people have left the job since June. So they updated the January numbers, and so it's over 1,000 people left the profession that were in the teaching positions and then left during the first semester. So it's something that we're very cognizant of. That Karen is revamping our recruitment plan, looking at how we can continue. We're working, as we mentioned, on a lot of pathway program, trying to develop that. Ms. Clark, Randy, that's part of her new role, working with long-term substitutes, because I think that's going to help us. Is that long-term substitutes before we're just given the position, and then the principal and assistant principal or instructional coach were said, okay, help them if you can. Now there is a focus where we have that individual that actually works with them, provides professional development. So it does have, they're tutored as a new teacher, as a novice teacher, so that they have that instructional support from the TLA office. And so we're doing a lot of things that are hoping to not only recruit, but retain our individuals and give pathways to those that are in our community. Because we know that, as you mentioned, getting people to move here is difficult. But if it's here, can we grow our own? And I think that's going to be probably the bigger effect for us, is to continue to grow our own versus continue, even though we're going to recruit, we're going to continue to recruit, but growing our own is going to be essential. And then the other issue is that in the future, foreign teachers is going to be very difficult with the $100,000 requirement for H1 visas now. So we can't pay that. There's no way that we can pay $100,000 to have a foreign teacher come in. So that's something that we're going to have to continue to address. But I've said it before, one of the possible benefits of school districts downsizing is that there's probably going to be in the next 3 to 5 years more teachers because they're losing positions. So for instance, Chandler which is the largest district in Arizona, one of the largest 2 districts, just are letting go of 120 teachers this semester. They just announced that because of their $4 million deficit that they're facing. So
We have all their names, right?
we're working. That's one of the things that we talked about is sending, recruitment in those areas where they're downsizing. School districts, again, across the state are not only seeing teacher shortage, but also seeing student shortage because the birth rates and everything aren't really hitting school districts. And so it's an opportunity we see for us to then recruit those of, hey, we're a stable district and here is an opportunity for you to grow and be supported with instructional support. So, but it's a great question.
Mr. Verdugo, those foreign teachers, the ones that we have now, are they grandfathered in or they got to reapply?
Yes, that they are, but if their visa expires, then there's a possibility that we would have to allow them to go back and not be able to keep it. But we have been working with our attorney to make sure that we're on top of that, asking for waivers. And we think because there is a teacher shortage that we might be able to keep some, but at the same time, we're not sure. I mean, it's a unknown.
Yeah.
I would like to see us somehow or another track the kids from our community that go out and get into public education so that maybe we could convince them to come back instead of them just kind of wandering off into other districts. Because we all know that we can get people who have lived here before to work here. They tend to stay a lot longer than individuals that come, say, from Michigan or some other part of the country.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're working on is with Ms. Clark and the Pathways program is having the ability for our students that hopefully get an associate's degree, then they can go to the Pathways program with the district and start that profession. So that's some of the things that we're looking at is how can we keep students and incentivize them that they're going into education, already giving them opportunity to be here and go through a program with us.
Thank you, Ken.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Inspector, you're probably getting tired up there, so I'll leave mine short. Yeah, during our walkthroughs, I was talking to students, as they're walking by and I say, how's Miss Cabrera? And they're, she's tough, mister, she's tough.
Yeah.
Man. Another one, how's your new principal? Oh, she's all over campus, mister. It's like, and I wouldn't classify it as tough. I would say you're very firm but fair. Yep. And I think you're holding the students accountable and, and that sort of helps maintain that discipline, the attendance, et cetera. As we walk through your classrooms, talk to your teachers, long-term subs, and they say, no, you're in the classroom, checking on them, seeing how they're doing outside the formal observation. And I think when you talk about teacher retention, that building that family, building that communication with your teachers, showing them that you care will help keep teachers at your site. So kudos to you of what we heard through our walkthroughs. Okay, let's see, what else? Looking at the data, it seems like it's driving your decisions. You got your action plan, you're putting it in place and you're moving forward. So looking to see what next year's results are.
We'll get there.
So good job and thank you for your presentation.
Yeah, same thing with, like everybody said, just kind of piggyback on everything, it's very, for us, when we do go into the, into the classrooms and into the, the different schools and all of this stuff, we get to, one-on-one with the kids, without any, and even with the teachers and stuff like that. And again, like he said, you're there, you're visible, you're always, around, and the kids know, that they can count on you and on your people, and that was, really, really interesting, and stuff. So, and again, the kids are like, oh, they want to please you guys, okay, so that makes, that makes it for a well-rounded. One of the things that I don't understand is that why were the changes, what happened that made it, go down so much,
I looked at the data, we can't change what happened.
No, definitely not, but we need to not do that
Yeah,
again.
and I looked and had some, like my leadership team a little bit deeper, my team leads, and the way that we make decisions is collectively. Ultimately, it's me, but, I don't ever wanna do something that others are like, wait, that's not gonna work. So we really listen to each other, we have strong communication, they're not afraid to say, hey, I don't think this is working. All right, let's meet, let's fix it. And if we can fix it right now, we will. And if it's something I have to put on my sheet of things that we need to adjust for next year, we will. Or that conversation, this is why we do what we do. Oh, I didn't see it that way. Okay, then we'll keep it that way for now. But I do feel my 3 C's, collaboration, communication, and consistency are powerful.
Yeah.
And I hold myself accountable for that as well.
Yeah, and I would say just so the question, Mr. Lopez is here, but the staffing changes, we had a large retirement from that site.
Yeah.
And that's historically been one of our sites that had continuous people. And we know that when you have a stable staff, that generally produces good results as long as they continue to grow and improve. And so there was a lot of turnover that site had not seen before. And so they went from the highest grade they've ever had to the lowest grade they've ever had. So it's something that, that they'll be back. And one of the things that we always talk about.
I have faith that I know that it's gonna bounce back.
One of the things that we always talk about is the system in Arizona is set up for, it's not easy, but it's easier to get a higher grade. But then that next year, it's very difficult to maintain
it. I know
because there's such an emphasis on growth. And so if you have that large growth, that when you're gonna have to get to proficiency or have those students even grow more. So the system is set up for a little bit of a bounce back. And so we'll hopefully we see that big bounce back this year. And then maintain it. That's one of the graphs that you saw. And historically, Guatemala has been probably our most stable school site, even through COVID, because we saw all the other sites during COVID drop drastically. They stay stable. So I know they'll bounce back.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for all your hard work.
Yep.
Thank you. All righty, next thing. We're moving on, Superintendent's report, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. I just have a few items that I'd like to share. And that Audra shared with me is Rotary Club's 11th annual Bikes for Tykes was on December 20th, and Ms. Andrea and were there. And I think they gave out 60 bicycles to our students. And thanks to the Rio Rico Fire District also was involved with giving out helmets. So I think we appreciate that. So that was a great thing that our Rotary continues to do, support our community, our students. We appreciate everything. But again, I think we posted some photos of that. And the kids are so excited with their bike and their helmet and so forth, which is great. Also, the last time we had the white elephant checks, which was a grand total of 89,000, as compared to 87,000 last year. So that was a significant amount of dollars that go into our classrooms for support. And so we thank the White Elephant, and also want to thank all of the staff that goes and volunteers throughout the summer. I think that's why we continue to see them support us, is because our team goes and does volunteer work with the White Elephant. So they continue to do that, so they continue to support us. And also want to congratulate all the sports teams as they finish out their seasons coming up. The stretch run, the first rankings were out, and I haven't seen the rankings today with all of the sports, but today was the first ranking, so I don't know where we're at with that. But I know we'll continue to fight for the playoffs. And then also welcome back everybody from the new year, and congratulations on President and new clerk.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, governing board, member report, Ms. De La Riva.
Yes, although I have not seen it in person, I was able to see it on social media, the painting, that mural. that-
Yes, we want to.
that this art class did. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful. So I wanted to congratulate Mr. Grijalva and the students. So it was two ladies, and I think the young man is his son, if I'm not mistaken, but I did see it on social media, and it's just a beautiful,
Amazing.
it's amazing. So very proud, very impressed. And then I was also very excited to have been part of the ASBA conference where I got to see Mr. Verdu and Ms. Vasquez receive their award. So congratulations on that. And that's basically it for me.
Thank you very much,
And
Mr.
apologize for one last thing, congratulate Ms. Vasquez, that she had won the board member award from and then she also won a Cognitive Circle of Excellence Award for her lifetime achievement, so I want to congratulate.
I know. It was, yeah, it was great. It was great. Thank you. Mr. Guerrero.
Yeah, thank you. I also got to be a part of the conference. It was a great conference. I love going to that conference. You learn a lot, spend time with you guys, get to know everybody a little bit better. And definitely learn a lot about my role as a board member as well. And it was great to see you guys recognized. It was pretty special. So that's all I have. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ramirez.
Yes, I want to congratulate you for being the president again. I was only teasing you, of course, you know that. That was just good natured ribbing, you know, nothing else. And I wanted to congratulate both of you for all the hardware you guys got this year. Maybe you guys have a hardware. So good job, and good job representing not only, you know, our community, but everybody, you know, just the schools in general. You guys have done a good job. And it's, you know, it's a big thing. That's not small potatoes, it's big.
Yeah.
Not every day you have people get recognized in your community like that, in your district. Yeah, I thought the ASBA conference was pretty cool. I enjoyed hearing John Hodge.
Oh, yeah.
He was very moving. The way he talked about Crazy Ernie.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really, I think I took away that meant something was how he said that our greatest asset are caring adults. Because as we all know, I mean, you can have all the workshops and do all the stuff and hand everything from up above down to everybody, but some people are just really love their subjects and they are very caring and they make a difference. You know, I've always been one to say a person can make a difference, you know, if they put their mind to it, because a lot of people feel like they just get lost in the fold, you know, an individual. They feel like, oh, I'm getting up, but I'm not, you know, just the run of the mill thing in my job. So for anybody out there that's working for our district, don't give up. Principals, many teachers are hearing, or maybe you'd like to take that message back. I'd appreciate it if you would, as principals and assistant principals, if you just tell them that, hey, don't, you know, the governing board feels like, I hope I could say this safely for everybody, but we feel like you're not, sometimes they feel like they're not appreciated or they're not coming up here to our governing board meetings and being recognized and stuff like that. But yet, you know, they're those quiet heroes in the classroom that are always just plugging away and getting things done and making a difference. So I'd appreciate if you would tell them that, hey, you do make a difference. Sometimes we don't talk about you, but you make a huge difference and a big impact. So I appreciate that. And then it was really funny because just on a side note, the guy was talking about his uncle and that his uncle used to make Tang. And his name was Moses because every time you drank his Tang, it would set you free. He was a funny guy, he was a very spirited speaker. I enjoyed him a lot. And I learned a lot at that conference. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Yeah, same. Superintendent Verdugo, you're recognized for the Arizona AASA National Superintendent of the Year. big schools. So, you know, kudos, I know they all said it, but I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah.
You got them sitting right here. And Ms. Vasquez, also your Cognia Excellent in Education Award. How many years teaching?
Oh, yeah, 44 in the school system.
44 in the school system.
Plus, if you
So
add these are 47.
the congratulations, award was well. These are
Thank you.
44 years. Woo! Yep. You probably touched a lot of students' hearts,
I know.
you know, and made a difference. Let's see, at the conference, one of the speakers we're talking about data was talking about getting the students involved in looking at state assessment data, asking them what they see, having them come up with solutions and how to succeed or how to look at the data and what they can do to improve it. So I think that goes back to that ownership. You know, sometimes as teachers, you're gonna do it this way because that's what Mr. Beach says, okay? But this speaker actually said, you know, let the students see the data, let them decide, let them, you know, participate in that process. Another motivational speaker that Mr. Ramirez was talking about, this guy came from like the hood.
Yeah.
And he said that one or two teachers that made a difference in his life, and he showed a chart that students are that teachers that actually went to the house. Why aren't you attending school? Teachers that actually went above and beyond. And it showed these are the people that got the education, doctor, lawyer, motivational speaker, etc. And these are the ones that took the alternative path. 18 years incarcerated, deceased, 10 years incarcerated. And it just took one or two teachers to believe in those hard knock kids coming off the block or coming off the hood. So if you have a teacher that made a difference in your life, make sure you tell them, and I'm sure they'd appreciate that. But about all I got.
Alrighty. Okay, well, saying that everybody said also congratulations, Mr. Verdugo. It was great to be at both of them. There was two places that we went. So the ASPA and the other one was the Cialis. Okay, that one. Okay. It was very educational. Okay, I always like to go to those things because you learn so much, you know, from these motivational speakers, and you find out a lot of things that, you know, it's not easy what we do, you know, because it's not, you know, and a lot of us are very, very much invested, yet it seems like nobody notices, but then something happens and you're like, oh, wow, you know, they did notice, you know, and stuff. So, you know, I think that everybody's doing, you know, a fantastic job, you know, with what we're doing, with what we're trying to do. And we're trying to really pinpoint, you know, how can we help our students more? What else can we do, you know, to make our students, you know, succeed and, you know, go above and beyond. So, you know, it's just, I really appreciate everything that everybody does. And again, everybody said a lot of things that I was gonna say, but thank you very much to all of you, you know, to all of the principals and all the assistants and everybody that, you know, the teachers and everybody that, even the people that do the grounds, because those sometimes talk to the kids and they make a difference, you know, I know that, you know, they do make a difference. So congratulations to everybody, and just, you know, let's end this with, you know, with a bang, you know, and let's keep us on top and make our kids, you know, even better than what they can be, what they are. So that's mine. Thank you. All righty, let me see. Next, moving on, information, discussion, action, release of contract of Mr. Robert Nicholas, Mr. Verdugo.
Thank you. So you received a letter from Mr. Lopez that stated that he was going back into law enforcement. So he was retired officer in 2000. But due to all of the things that happened in the country and the need for him to serve again, he's going back into law enforcement. So Mr. Lopez's recommendation was to accept his resignation and release from contract, but also waive the $1,000 because it is a life-changing event that is occurring. For that,
We have a candidate.
we're a candidate of the process. I know that's also the board's question. Do we have somebody who would replace? And I believe we have a candidate at this point.
Mhm.
So any questions? that I can
Okay, any
answer?
questions about this? Anyone? No? Any questions? Mr. Ramirez?
No, so we're not going into exec session to
No.
discuss
I
it.
would recommend not.
Not.
But it's up to you. I mean, we can.
No, I have none.
No,
I
Mr.
have
Beach?
none.
I have none either. I also agree with the, with what they were saying, because he is going to be staying, in law enforcement, so it's, I think that we should wait.
Yeah, and then again, he's serving our community.
Mhm.
It's great to have.
Absolutely.
A position.
Mhm.
He's from our community and serves our community.
Okay.
All righty, do I have a motion?
Motion to release Mr. Robert Nicholas from his 2025-2026 contract and assess,
No.
waive liquidated damages in the amount of $1,000.
Second.
Okay, all righty. Any questions, anybody? No? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay, ayes have it, motion passes. He is next, okay? And let me see, the policies, possible motion to approve the policies?
And then there's nothing.
Nothing that we're gonna move?
I just will notify the board that policies that we'll be reviewing this semester, and we'll get with the board regarding leave. We're updating some of our leave policies, and then as well as ESAs for athletics. I know we have discussed a little bit about that, but we don't change policies generally mid-year. Attorneys recommend that we don't do that unless there's something that emergency reasons. And so we will again just bring those towards the end of the school year so that they'll be in place for next school year.
All righty, so we move on, propose and prioritize topics, which this one, C,
Yes.
and possible dates and times for future board meetings, Mr. Verdugo.
So you approved the calendar tonight.
Yes, and so we already have that one.
And then some of the updates I know, shade structure, solar farm, I will be giving an update as soon as we have a meeting with Barry, who is gonna be doing some solar work for the district. So I will give the board an update once we get closer to that, because I know Mr. Ramirez has been asking for
He's been
that.
asking.
So we're looking at also the shade structure for the pool. And so we're working on all of those things, but I want to make sure you get that here. And then South 32, that we're working on. Most of us are on some type of committee with South 32, so we're getting close to approving an agreement with a group that will be doing workforce development, so I'll be giving an update of that as well. Also the solar farm, I'm sure there's one update, and I will be given an FYI in the next week.
Are there any other topics that you want to include? Mr. Arriba? No? You, Mr. Arriba?
Well, we discussed the calendar, we approved the calendar, but I'd like for us to talk about how we go about ending the semesters, especially at Rio Rico High School where we get final exams, because from what I understand, things have changed since the day that Beach and I were there and we used to give final exams. We would have the last 3 days and have a certain schedule where we had first, second, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. And so it just kind of, I'm not sure whether this is the case or not, but I heard that we have all periods on every single day toward the end. So that baffles me, because I just remember that schedule and I'm wondering, why we're not going back to that schedule that we used to have. I mean, I have it in my school and it works.
Yep, we can bring that back. So for discussion, so I'll
Do we need to put that on here or?
yeah, we'll just add it as a topic for the future. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. All righty, so we don't have anything here, the consent agenda? Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the consent agenda? Ms. Arriba?
Any matter that would like to be
Huh? Any matter, oh, I'm sorry, I have to do this one. Okay, hold on, I gotta read this. I know. Hi, okay, consent agenda. Any matter on the consent agenda will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed as regular agenda item or items upon the request of any board member. Anybody have anything to move? No? You?
Just a comment that I'm grateful to all the people that donate to our community. We're very grateful for any kind of thing that you donate. We appreciate it. Look at that. was it? We had a refrigerator one time, somebody donated to California.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Verdugo donated all of his clothes. Just kidding.
No, but remember that it wasn't supposed to come here or something?
Oh, no, that's the one that came from California or something like that. Yeah, it was a stove, wasn't it? A stove. It was a huge stove.
Yeah, from Santa Cruz, California. That's
Santa
where we
Cruz,
wanted to go to-
California,
Santa
yeah.
Cruz Valley.
Yeah. Mr. Beach,
I have
nothing? I have nothing either. Okay, so, do we have a motion?
Approve and ratify the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Second, okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye, all those opposed nay. Ayes have it, motion passes, and we are adjourned at 6:54 PM. Thank you very, very much.